Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Lean That Streams. My name is Nathan. This is the Lean That Streams. I hope you're having a good day and welcome. How are you doing? Welcome to Wednesday. It's Hump Day. And what better way to spend Hump Day than to go to a scary place, which is oddly beautiful, really. If you look at the screen, oddly beautiful, actually, if you think about it. I don't know, something about like a fog-filled area is supposed to be really scary, right? But it really isn't. It's actually kind of pretty to me. And maybe I'm weird. But anyway, this is Silent Hill F. I don't know what the F stands for. I'm not sure. I'm sure it has something it stands for. I guess I don't know. But it's like a very unique looking Silent Hill where it is in Japan. And I think it takes place like during the 1940s, maybe like post World War II. I don't know. We'll find out, I'm sure. But before we do, hope you're having a good week so far and you're ready to get spooked. It is spooky month, so I thought we'd do a spooky game. But big thank you to everybody who dropped by yesterday and hung out with me while we played some Minecraft. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. We got a lot of crazy stuff to do in Minecraft. I'm going to keep doing that. But for now, it's time to get spooked because that's our goal. So I'm going to go into the game and we're going to get started. I need to do some sound adjustment because I haven't had a chance to see how loud or not this game is. I have no idea, but we'll find out. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? There's that spooky game sound. It's very quiet. Makes me wonder if the game's going to be like that, which I don't know. You don't want like a lot of the subtleties to be out of there, but let me check the options. Maybe they got a little bit louder. 100%, 100%, 100%, 100% dynamic range. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to keep that low for you guys because that... Okay, it's a little louder that way. That's good. Okay, we'll do it this way. Might be a little too loud. Let me try this. Interesting. I don't know. Okay, we'll try this. No, we'll do this. No, we'll do this. And then we will adjust graphics. What do I have to do here? Preset quality performance. I always prefer the performance, yes. I think that's what we're going to do. So let's get this show on the road. It does seem like the game's going to be really loud. Let me turn this down. Which is good. All right, let's get this, let's see what this is all about, shall we? Let's get this in there. Action. Oh. Weaker enemies and more resources. Traditional Silent Hill difficulty for story base. Hard. Oh god. Oh god. For familiar with action horror games. I don't know if I am. There's only two choices. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. This is probably the worst decision I could make. But let's go for it. Ooh, pretty. Pretty dolly.
I don't need them anyway. Who even cares about their dumb games?
Hinako?
Yes?
I thought you were playing with your friends.
They said I can't play house with them because I hang out with boys.
Well, how about you play with your big sister instead?
Sounds nice.
Really?
Sounds lovely. Oh.
Thanks for waiting. Junko, did something happen?
Just reminiscing a little.
Oh, are those tied? That's probably what's happening.
You know, when we were kids, you always looked out for me.
Hinako,
Okay.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
I'm starting to sense something here. Ooh, that's really pretty. That's really pretty. That's really pretty sounding. Oh, and the graphics in this game are beautiful. Look at that. Love that. I love the aesthetics of this already. This is gorgeous. Oh my god, look at like the details. Ah. I'm getting entrenched in this music, and I love it. It's really beautiful. It's really pretty. I love like the guitar medley in the background with that. Very Silent Hill, but like they throw in this like traditional sounding Japanese song, and I love that. I love that. That was great. That's less so. That sounds okay.
How dare you speak to your parents like that?
Dear, please calm down.
This Junko knows how to show some respect. Why the hell can't you be more like her?
Oh my god. Okay, that seems like an overreaction.
Where do you think you're going? We're not done here, young lady.
I think she is.
Please, you've already made your point.
Oh, he's a
Then
drinker.
why isn't she listening to me? If you hadn't spoiled her so much, she wouldn't act like such a brat all the time.
Well, I'm sure she's not doing that purposely.
Don't go. Your father's just worried.
No, he's drunk.
Come home soon.
All right. No, he's drunk. That's very different. Journal updated. Oh, I have a journal. Mom. There she is. Shimizu Kimi, my mother. If I had to choose one word to describe her, it would be pitiful. She's one of those who bears the brunt of my father's violent moods and malicious abuse. When I was younger, she used to protect me from him, so I didn't hate her back then. But maybe I do hate her now. Even as my father... Oopsies. Not what I want. Even as my father screams in her face, throws bowls at her, and sends her out for alcohol late at night, she remains ever loyal to him. I just cannot, will not, accept her way of life. That makes sense. Me. I missed this part. Shimizu Hinako. Me. There is not a single extraordinary thing about me, except for maybe being very tall for a girl of my age. I used to be in the track and field club, which is probably why I'm better at sports than most girls. I guess I got used to running around when I was a little kid. I preferred playing with the boys. Interesting. Dad. My father. Was there more here? There might have been more here. No. Okay. Okay. Dad. Shimizu Kanta, my father. When I first learned of the term patriarchal husband, and that it meant a man who does nothing but boss his wife around, he was the first person that came to mind. Dad barely talks. He ignores me when I tell him good morning, but if I say nothing, he gets angry instead. And once he's angry, he just explodes. He loses all control over his emotions in the blink of an eye. He yells at Mom, throwing things around, and even hits us. That's horrible. Why can't he act like that in public? Why does everyone else only see his quiet, calm side? If it meant that I wouldn't have to spend another second with him in that house, I'd happily let myself be taken away. Wow. This is a happy ode. Why is her whole thing scratched out? Kanuto Junko, my older sister. She's one of the prettiest and kindest people I know, and there's nothing she can't do. I can rely on her for anything. Honestly, she's the greatest sister anyone can ask for. She's always been there for me ever since the day I was born, until she left and to get married. Oh boy.
There's no way. Never.
Right. Definitely. I can run. Okay. Am I supposed to go anywhere in particular? I mean, it seems like this is a way I could go. I'm going to go check it out. I don't know how many secrets there's going to be, but if I remember Silent Hill 2, there were. Now, this is a very different game than Silent Hill 2. I will say that. What is this? Hello? Entry to mountain prohibited.
Slides blocked off the path.
That's
Used to
convenient.
climb up there.
Okay, good. What do we have here? Pick up. Article. Serious issue in... I'm not going to be able to say all these words. Ibisugoka in April 21, Showa 20, 1945, evening edition. The onsen geyser that suddenly started spewing water on the 3rd of this month is in Iwashimizu. Oh my God. Ibisugoka of the Yamabe district finally came to a stop early this morning. The geyser reached a height of at least 30 meters, but the ceaseless noise and pungent hydrogen sulfide gas have left the residents troubled. Probably would me too, actually. The individuals have been hospitalized with complaints of skin sores and other maladies they claim were caused by the gas. In addition, a strong concentration of arsenic have been detected in the geyser's water, 20 milligrams per liter. Many residents have concerns about the future environmental issues this might lead to. Yeah, if it's cyanide. Was it cyanide? Arsenic. No, that's just bad. That's not good. That is not good. Can I go in this place? Apparently not. Alrighty, let's take a look around here. Run. You were in track and field. You know how to do this. Fuck was that? I don't know. This is a weird statement to make, I know, but there's a part of me that kind of wish that growing up, my school had school uniforms. I kind of wish that. You know why? It would just make picking clothes and being cool so much easier. Not cool, I guess that's the wrong way to put it, but it would make like fitting in easier, I guess, because you wouldn't have to be worried about like what your clothes look like all the time. I don't know. It just feels like that'd be cool. Local doctors known. There have been sightings of foxes coming into town recently. I'm sure they're the older generations who have grown up learning to respect foxes are fine, but I'm concerned for any children who may try to chase or provoke the creatures. Foxes by nature are not aggressive, but just like wild dogs, they carry diseases such as rabies, tinnitus, and echinococosis, to just name a few. The town committee should send out a warning to ensure people didn't get unnecessary close to them. Well, in this type of town, I wonder if they're like very into the kitsune stuff. I wonder if they're into that. They might be. It's like local lore. But some people were very, very into the whole like kitsune situation, which would be kind of cool. I know a little bit about kitsune. I'm not an expert, but I do have some background in reading about it. I was a nerd as a kid, and I actually had a character that was a kitsune, because, you know, edgy teenager me made that happen. And I tried to learn about them as much as I can. And they are fascinating. And like the concept behind it is very fascinating. But I probably only know like a fraction of what there is to know about this. Is anybody home? Hello? Anybody? Why are all your windows so dirty? Don't you like seeing outside? I would think you might. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Is that mold? Kind of look like mold.
Guess I'll pray.
Okay, to rest at a Hakora. What is it? What is that? Exploration. Hakora. To use X when in front of a Hakora to see listings of things you can do. You can save your progress by going to record. Oh.
Oh, gods. What should
I don't know. Record. I will record here. What am I recording? A save game? I just did this. Pray. All right, I did that. I guess I prayed. Prayed to that thing. It was very effective. I'm very curious about exploring this. I really love this world, which is a real, or at least based on a real place, I would imagine. And it's very beautiful. That looks like a little side trail to me. Ooh.
Inari-sama. The fox god's enshrined all over the place.
Oh my goodness. That's so cool. That's beautiful. I love that. Oh, look at the little fox statues. They're adorable. That one doesn't have a head, but that's, neither here nor there. I'm sure that's nothing to worry about. So it seems like this is like a little, kind of like a little farming village or something. Are those mushrooms? Pick some up and try them. You never know. They might be the good kind. The good kind of mushies that you can munch on. Oh, I might be able to go in here. Oh, no. Ah, no. Okay, this is like someone's little farm area. What are you growing? What are you welling? You welling, bro? Anything yummy? Ooh, beer. I could drink a beer. Drinking at this time of day? What about drinking at this time at all? You're a teenager. You shouldn't be doing that. A woman is only complete when she's loved. Featuring the latest fashion for young women, so pure, they even make the flowers blush. Why would they make the flowers blush if they're pure? What are they blushing over? It seems like a strange thing to be, Oh, I'm here again. Okay, I made my rounds. Did I miss something over here? I mean, this is really pretty. I really do like this. I really do want to explore because it is so pretty. What's that?
Where is everyone?
I don't know.
What about Chizuruya? Maybe I'll find someone there.
Okay. Is that place? Head to Chizuyura General Store. Journal updated. I live in a small rural town of Ibisagoka or Goka? Ibisagoka. Before the war, the town was lively due to an influx of people coming for coal mines and dam construction going on in the northern mountains. After the dam construction finished and the coal mine closed down, it became a sad little town. The Grand Iron Bridge that connects the town to the nearby city is the only reminder of this sorry town's former glory. Okay. I didn't read everything. Map. Okay, we did go over that. Okay, Inari-sama. So, if I remember, Inari is like among... I don't know if Inari-sama is. Inari-sama, also referred to as Ayanari-sama, is the goddess that puts... okay, So if I remember, Inari from Kitsune is like the goddess, or like the great Kitsune, like the I think she was like, I would have to say it's like light, like the one that represents light and is like a nine tail of light or something like that. I don't remember. Let me look it up. Anadi refers to a significant Shinto deity of agriculture, rice, prosperity, success, and the white kitsune. So I was right. It's the white kitsune are foxes of Japanese folklore, often depict as supernatural being with magical power. So Inari is like kind of like a big deal in the kitsune lore. Okay. I remember that. And then like Kitsune came in like different elemental powers, or some, I guess maybe some lore had them as like different elemental types. Excuse me. Like there was like fire, water. I think there was like void. Like void was its own thing. Something like that. Excuse me. Pick up. Article, serious issue in Ibisu-Goka. I'm going to have to figure out how to say that. Starting around May, Ibisu-Goka began seeing a high number of small earthquakes. The Prefectural Disaster Prevention Division predicts that there will be even more in the future. Residents remain on edge, fearful that they may be early warning signs of a larger earthquake yet to come. Rumors that these events are being caused by Inari-sama's curse have been spreading among the more religiously minded of the elderly population. However, the Prefectural Disaster Prevention Division is urging residents to treat such rumors as superstition and instead prepare for any potential disasters ahead. All right. So remember, guys, don't believe your elders. Do not respect them and do not believe them, is what this is trying to tell me. Anybody? Where is everybody? I agree. Where the hell is everybody? It's eerily quiet. What is that? Oh, it's beer bottles. It didn't look like beer bottles from afar away for some reason. Ooh, is that another Kitsune shrine? Oh. He's got a little apron on. That's so cute. I love that. Uh-oh. Something's... Excuse you.
Is anyone there?
Great question. Oh, that can't be good. No, sir. I don't like that. That bird? Vryn, avert your eyes. Don't look, Vryn. Don't look. Better find another way. Yeah, away from the dead bird. Is there anything else dead in there? I don't see it. That's fine. I would be questioning how quiet it is here, too.
I remember there was a shortcut up ahead.
Okay. I'm sure that'll be very apparent when I see it. Is that this thing? Or this thing? Or this thing? Or that thing? Or can I use this person's bike? Yeah, shortcut indeed. Here I go. This is safe. Oh, this is going to be a mechanic.
It's a curse. It has to be. How else could she die like that?
Excuse me?
I would never. Not that family.
Excuse me?
Someone's going to hear you.
Who died like that? Uh-oh. Someone died like that. What was like that? In what way was that? I feel like this is pertinent information that we should know about. Who died? God, this is so cool, though. I love the detail in this. Like, this is so pretty and detailed. And somewhat like when you get into town like this, especially when you started out in that rural area, this feels very claustrophobic.
You traitor.
What did I do? I did nothing.
Where are you off to? Don't usually see you around here.
A truck was blocking the road.
Chizuruya?
I just want to talk to someone.
I'll be there in a bit, okay?
See you.
Like, hopefully soon.
You traitor.
Excuse me? That sounded very violent and very unnerving. Who's the traitor and why? Why am I a traitor? What did you do? What did I do? What have I done? Have I done something bad? Journal. Sakuko. One of my friends. She's always got her head up in the clouds and is a little strange. She's constantly trying to worm her way out of paying me back for the 500 yen I lent her that one time. Her father is the head priest of the Senisuge shrine in town. She seems to take great pride in donning the traditional Mikoto robes and selling charms during the New Year celebration. Alrighty. Am I drawing all those myself? That's really good. I am a great artist. Well, there's the truck that was blocking the way. I seem to have solved that problem. Can I go through there? Can I? Nope. Feel like I should be able to.
Where'd the driver go?
That's a great question. Also, I do want to point out that like getting out of that position is going to be one hell of a maneuver. He's really, really going to struggle there. Why is it so quiet? Okay. Suzutani Mayumi. Last seen wearing a white blouse, long navy shirt, beige neckerchief with black polka dots. Details of disappearance. The rest has been torn off. Oh, well, that's...
It's torn.
I know. It just told me that. Thank you. I'm aware. These little ditches seem a little scary to me. This seems nice. Is this like the town well? I don't know. Nope. That's a big nope for me, Chief. I don't know you. I don't think I know them. Still under construction. When are they going to be finished? Probably when they fill in that hole. I guess I do have to go that way. Hello, person I definitely probably know. Oh, it's Shu. I should have known. I didn't recognize you from far away, Shu. Shu. Iwai Shu. Shu's been my best friend ever since forever. He's my partner. We've been having play dates as long as I can remember. When we play make-believe Space Wars, he'd call each other partner, and for some reason, it just kind of stuck. Kids of the Showa era tend to look down on the other sex, but never Shu. When I rebelled against my parents because they told me to act like a girl, he was the one who understood my feelings the most and stood by me. Well, that's nice. I imagine this time period, because it does seem like it's post-World War II. It probably was tougher back then. What you got there, Shu?
Hey,
Hey,
partner.
Shoo.
partner. This is awkward. Yeah. Spit it out, Shu. Don't be so shy. Don't be shy now.
Say something.
What about you? Nothing you want to say?
Well, if you don't have anything, neither do I.
Okay, this is going to be a real boring conversation.
That's my Hinako. It's not like you to just let stuff happen, though. But whatever you end up choosing, you know I'll always be there for you.
Uh-huh.
Shoo. Shoo, thanks for waiting.
Hi, who are you? I don't know if I know you.
Hinako, too.
Yeah, you seems kind of awkward about
Rinko.
that.
What were you
Rinko.
guys talking about?
All about you specifically. I remember he was like, Rinko, look at that little dweeb.
She said that she just wanted to talk to someone.
Yep.
It helped too. Oh, glad to be of service, ma'am.
You said like one word to me. Huh.
If I had known you'd be here, I would have brought that magazine you lent me.
I'm sure you would
You
have.
can hold on to it.
All right.
I knew I wasn't getting it back when I lent it to you. What's that supposed to mean?
Ah, we're having fun here.
What do you
This
think
is
we're
fun.
laughing at? You've got something of hers too, don't you? Right?
Wait, did I borrow something?
Hello, J. Tony boys.
Oh my God.
666.
Do I get to hold on to the 500 yen I owe you too?
What happened to paying her back with interest?
I never said that. You can't prove I did.
Okay, that does it. If I lend you something, you're signing a contract to give it back.
Don't be such a meanie.
What is happening? What is happening?
Hinako?
Sorry.
That was weird, wasn't it? Nobody else noticed that? Nobody else notices. Oh. Oh. What is happening? What is happening to you? Oh my God. Ah! Run! Run! Run like hell! What is that? Oh my God. Okay, I gotta run. What am I doing? I'm doing this. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is that thing? No! I do not like that. Oh, you did the stereotypical thing. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't. Oh my God. Ooh, this way. This way. This way. This way. Can I jump that? Oh, yes, I can. Okay, great. Let's go. Keep running. Uh-oh. That's not good. No, keep running. Running is better. Let's go. Go faster. Okay, never mind. Screw that noise. Run this way. Seems pretty good. No, it doesn't. Maybe it does. Let me. No, I don't want any. I don't want it. Uh-oh. I don't want it. I don't want any. I don't want it. No. Ah! What do I do about this? What do I do about... Okay, that's fine. Go! This way. No! Let me go, you bitch! Oh god, go! Faster than that. What do I do from here? I don't know. Who is that? Joko? Sister? What is that sound? What am I listening to? Oh my god. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, that's like, they look like veins. Oh, that was a little anticlimactic. You okay? She doesn't seem okay, but maybe she's fine. All right, let's just, oh, I'm hurting. That hurt? Yeah, it probably would. What's over here? What's up,
Hello,
Crispy? How's it going? Note from Shu. Hey, partner. Those painkillers should work best for you. They'll not only take care of your headaches, but also any pain from injuries. I suspect that the main cause behind your nasty headaches is from your unconsciously grinding your teeth when you're upset. Does that sound about right? If you ever need to talk or anything, just call my name and I'll be there. More scary games, right? This is Silent Hill F. It is Silent Hill, but in Japan in the 1940s or 50s. And I got a red capsule. That sounds good. How do I use said things? Oh, L1. Use thing. That thing. Okay, take pill. Yummy, yummy. All better now. I'm all better. I don't think I'm all better. I only have 9 of those, though. I gotta really... I've seen a little of this. It's really beautiful. I mean, look at this thing. Like, the detail on this is unbelievable. And look at the Kitsune shrine. That's beautiful. Here we go. Stairs seem to be my enemy. Yet nothing to say about the red flower veiny shit that was following you not that long ago. Nothing to say about that. Japanese horror does scare me. I think they do get the atmosphere thing very, very well. Ooh, bandage coated with ointment used to stop bleeding. Application is taught in all local schools. Greatly restores health. I see. Okay, I'm gonna use... What is it? Gurgling. I'm gonna use that. That's better. Why are you gurgling?
What is this place? I need to get back to Sakako.
You live here. Why are you asking me? You're the one who lives here, lady. Find a way back to Chizuyura General Store. Okay. I can view my objectives. Nah, I think I got it. Well, this seems... Red. There's just singular pills just hanging out for me to find, I guess. I guess I could use this. Just little pills that I pick up and go, that'll do it. That's just what I needed.
Who's there? Is that you, Shu?
No. No. No, thank you. Big nope. Big nope for me right here. That's a big no. That's a no for me. Thank you. I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with no. Okay. This is going to go well for me. This is going to go real well for me. What does that sound? Why does that sound? Hello? Who's there?
Shu! Rinko!
The other girl who's probably dead. Or maybe not. She's probably fine. What's up here? Is that where I came from? That's where I came from. Never mind. Okay. God damn it. Uh-oh. I don't like that. You okay? Who's there? Oh my god! No. Oh no. No, we don't want that. Mom? No, I don't think so. Ooh, you are flexing. You're missing something. You seem to be missing most of your face. Oh, nice ass. Oh, I hate that. What do I do about this? Dodging to evade enemies' attacks. Okay. Dodging. If you dodge before an enemy attacks lands, you perform a perfect dodge and recover your staminers. Good, I guess.
Stay back.
What do I do about this? No! Run! 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 Oh my god, where is she? Is she coming for me still? Is it still coming after me? I think it is. Yeah, no, it's definitely coming after me. Alrighty. Let's get this. This way. This way. That probably was it right there, huh? I don't know where it is. This way. Go up. That's probably not good. What do I do up here? I don't feel like you're taking this very seriously. What was that? Hello? Where am I going? I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, this seems safe. This is probably safe. This is probably perfectly safe.
Anyone here?
Hello? Lunchtime. I heard that. Lunchtime? Ooh, pill. Better take that. Why do I get the feeling I'm not alone here? Gecko, what's going on? Stopping by for a bit. How's the trip to Japan going? Hope the hills aren't being too quiet. They are being incredibly quiet until they aren't. And then it's horrible. But otherwise, very pretty. Ooh. Very pretty. I need a key. Okay, then. I need a key. Where would I get a key? Bandage? Just what I needed. Mm-hmm. Better go upstairs. Nothing bad ever happens upstairs. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I don't like that there's... What is that? I don't like that. I don't like... oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. What's in my journal? Examining objects. Equipment. Okay. I don't trust any of that. A jelly-like dessert filled with red bean paste. A bite-sized delight. Greatly restores health. Can also be used as an offering. To who? Oh, God. Go faster. The key doesn't fit. No. Ah! What do I do? Go faster. No, that's not the right buck. I got this. You missed. You suck. Where do I go? I don't know what to do. The key didn't fit. Why did the key fit? Why did the key not fit? Why key no fit? Why would it not? Shit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm gonna... What do I do? What do I do? It must have been in the room that she was in. It must have been in that room. The key. I gotta find the key. I am in pain. I'm in a lot of pain. Can I go in here? I can go this way. What if I jump and then I go this way, please? And I can't do it. No, it's definitely not good. It is the opposite of good. Okay, how do I forgot how to heal already. There it is. I need pain. Nope. Okay, we'll take some pain meds.
This isn't good.
No, you're probably right.
I really hope Shu and Rinko are all right.
They are probably dead. I'm gonna go with probably dead. Popping some pills. That's the plan. You know, probably has nothing to do with me seeing these weird monsters everywhere. I'm guessing it's not related at all. Ha, replaced my pill already. So can I go into other buildings? Not that I want to now, but can I? What is... Oh, for God's sake. Hi, lady, listen. This is very irregular. Ah, you missed. Go, go. Oh my God. Oh my God. Run, run, you crazy girl. Ah! That's bad. That's what you call bad. All right. Well, that's not good. What am I doing? I could have gone that way. Ah! This way. This way seems good. I like this way. Just antique comb. That's useful. Okay. What am I doing? I don't know. Are they gone? Oh my God. This is going to be one of those. First, James is using dirty syringes. This chick is grabbing pills like Dr. House. I'm starting to see a trend with these Silent Hill pro tags. Yeah, they got problems. Pills, all those things. And lots of problems. Hello? Oh my God. That's a big knife you got there. Oh ho ho! The chanting though is pretty cool. You better use. Okay. Oh, I see now. Interesting. Am I gonna have to use right one? Though you won't deal much damage, you'll be able to attack more swiftly. Okay. What am I doing? And then enemies use R2 for heavy attack. Your movements will be slower, but you'll deal far more damage and have a higher chance of stunning enemies. Enemies take more damage while stunned. Use okay. Interesting. Bitch. No! Okay, that did not go well for me. Yeah. She's dead. She's dead. I think. Hell yeah. Take that, crazy doll-like thing. Yum, yum, yum. I'm going to need to pop a pill for that. So. Celebratory pill. Hello? Hello? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How do I lock on? Oh, there it is. Hi, lady. Listen. I'm gonna say counters. Certain enemy attacks will leave them vulnerable to counterattacks. A visual hint will appear when possible to counterattack. When the visual hint is shown, use R2 to perform a counter. Okay. The visual hint indicating the counter is possible will be visible for longer when you are using L2 to focus. There's a lot going on here. If no visual hint is shown during an enemy's attack, the attack cannot be countered. Additionally, hints will appear while Hinako is attacking or dodging, so keep close eyes on movements. Got it. Bitch. Okay, I guess that wasn't it. I'm dead. I guess that wasn't the thing I was looking for. That was the thing I was looking for. All right. I guess that was not. Oh, hi. How are you? I know how this works. I know how to do the thing.
Oh my. There is an incoming break for adverts in 2 minutes.
Bitch. Oh, she's stunned. She's stunned. I did do it. Ugh. Okay, she's dead. I'll take. Nope. I'll take that. Right. It looked like a thing. Didn't it say, maybe I was too late or something. That could be it. All right, come on. Yeah, I know. I read it the first time. Okay, that worked better. I done good. I think. Anybody else want some? You don't want to fuck with a schoolgirl with a pipe. I heard that. What is that? What is that? Toolkit. Ooh. A portable toolkit containing commonly used tools for home repair. Restores equipment's durability. Oh. Oh, shit. Do I have like... Okay, toolkits to repair weapons and restore their durability. Toolkits can be added to your items. Shortcut using that. Okay. Once a weapon's durability is exhausted, the weapon will break and disappear. Toolkits can be used to restore a weapon's durability. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's going to be resource management. I got resource management to do.
God damn you!
Shu, where are you?
Shu? 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 Okay, wrong way. Shu's not over here. Oh, I'm going to go on break. We're going to go on break here, and I'll be back in about 3 minutes. I'll see you guys very, very soon. James, I've got something for you. Here you go. Yay! Oh, put it down. Put it down. I can't put it down. Oh, it's down. Ah! No! Not like this! No! No! Ah!
I can't even feel bad for you.
Ah! No! No!
I mean, now I can. Now I can totally feel bad for you.
What's up?
You're really cool. All of us moblets really look up to you.
Oh.
My friend thinks
Oh
you're really
my.
cute, too.
There is an incoming break for adverts in 2 minutes.
What do we say?
What do I say?
I think you know what I'm getting at.
I think we'll pass.
I'm not gonna say no. Who's your friend? You point him out to me? All right, never mind.
That's my chicken. Touch my chicken. Bring that back.
Alright, Teo, how do you want to split this?
I'll do drive-through.
You know he's gonna do. He's gonna club in your ear and French fry your rear.
Okay, Zed, I can't control me, but you are welcome to smite him.
Okay.
You gotta sound a bit more French, though.
Freya, what the hell are you doing? Freya, what the hell are you doing? Freya, no. Stop it, Freya. That's not appropriate. Freya, that's not appropriate. Freya, that's not okay. Freya, no means no, Freya. No means no. Unless it isn't. Oh, never mind. She's done. That was weird. Are they implying that is Sans fucking my mom? Is Sans is fucking my mom? Oh god. I think Sans might be fucking my mom. All right. Can you get in here? Haha! I found your weakness. Never mind.
Somebody clip that.
It's rude. It's rude. It's rude.
I'm trying so hard to body
Ah! He found me anyway. Take this.
And you're under stairs. There's a fucking
Watch out! I just threw a guy. Didn't mean to. Oh my god!
Good job, Lee.
This is peak entertaining streaming right here. Peak. I'm gonna read a whole fucking book.
No! God! No, God, please, no! No!
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Martin Helius, the German physician. Though carefully educated in medicine and surgery, I have never practiced either. The study of each continues, nevertheless, to interest me profoundly. Neither idleness nor caprice caused by... I didn't think it was that bad of a book. Caused by... So is this a jump I can make? I can. Bam! Okay. That's why you're here? That's what you have to tell me? That's all you have to say? Be careful not to fall. Thanks, buddy. I fell. No! All right, we are back. We are back from break, so we'll continue on with the game. Hope you guys got you a nice restroom break or picked up a drink, something that you could spit out violently when we get spooked. Wherever I am. Do I have a map? I have a map. I'm trying to get there. I see. Interesting. I didn't know I had a map. All right then. Well, let's use said map to our advantage and see if I can get to where I need to go. So let's do this, shall we? If I can. Current objective is right there. Apparently I'm here. Okay, so it seems like this might be a possibility. How did I get to that? Map. Okay. Map. Wah. Ooh. I got Yokan. Can you do throat singing? I don't know. Probably not. I've never really tried it, so I don't think so. I'm guessing that's something you have to practice very heavily. Oh, hi. How are you? Okay. Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. Yeah. Why am I not doing nothing? Oh, I have no staminas. I'm out of stamina. No, that I need that. Okay, hold on. No, don't go fast all of a sudden. You don't want to do that. There we go. Problem solved. Is that another one? Okay. Ramune. Ooh. The best-selling soft drink in town, it packs a fizzy, refreshing punch that wakes you up with one sip. It greatly restores current max sanity, so also can be used as an offering. Good. I have a lot of stuff. Can't use any of that. All right, where am I right now? I am... where am I going? I feel like I'm pretty close to my current objective. What was that? Alrighty. That's cool script, basically. Okay, offerings. Not only recover health and sanity, but it can also be exchanged for faith in Hikora. That's so much stuff to do. Okay. Enshrine, draw an Amori, receive a random. Okay. I'm gonna do. What does Clear Mind do? Your sanity has reached its maximum. Oh. Good. I have a sanity. Save. Confirm. Done. Steel pipe. Okay. I have 2 of them. Oh, I see. Okay. Should I walk through this? I don't know if I should walk through this. Uh-oh. What's about to happen? Something bad's about to happen. Something tells me that this is gonna be bad. Oh, shit. That's my friend.
Hey, Stinky. Hello.
Hi, Dennis. She okay? Is she gonna make it? Do you think she's gonna make it? Do you think she's gonna make it? She's plant food now, apparently. Good lord. Good lord.
Since you were little, you dreamed of a different life. A family that owned a candy store. Instead of some stuffy old shrine. And here, it's all yours. As much candy as you could ever want.
Oh.
Sweet dreams. Sakuko. Go home. The store's closed for the day.
Oh, I don't think she's gonna listen. I don't think she's gonna listen to you. I think you might have to.
You're gone. I'll keep my promise.
Oh yeah? What was your promise?
No matter what.
Oh, I'm gonna take this bitch out. Bitch. I'm not doing anything. Ugh. Okay. Booyah, bitch! Oh shit. Okay, this is not good. Take a pill. Take a pill. Take 2 pills. Go nuts. There's 2 of them. Oh god, I can't do that. Ah! Okay. Oh god. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Shit. This combat system is a lot. There's a lot to this. Oh, 3 Pioneer! Pioneer, what is up? Welcome everybody. Welcome Raiders. Hello, hello, you beautiful, beautiful beings, you. How are you doing? What are you guys up to today? You're playing From the Ashes Remnant. Nice. How did that go?
Remember, I drive fast cars in a set of.
Hello, 3 Pioneer.
I drive truck.
Hello, hello.
I'm gonna pit the police off.
Bunch of Duke's Raid. Beautiful. Oh.
What happened? Where am I?
That was some fancy driving right there.
I think he flipped off the.
I'm at maximum damage.
Well, welcome in, everybody. My name is Nathan. I am the Liam that streams. I cause ATS Physics Sim to explode. Beautiful. That's exactly how you want that to go down. I love it. I hope you had a great time. Everybody, welcome in. My name is Nathan. I am the Liam that streams. We are a variety streamer. Today, we're playing some Silent Hill F, and I just died to a crazy doll-like monster that is kind of scary with a knife. And I got to figure out how to do this better because... let's see how it goes. Okay.
Oh, hey, Illuminati_Steamberg. Thanks for hitting that follow button.
Ow, thank you. Oh, Illuminati Screenbug, thank you so much. No, don't stab me. Oh, you missed. Okay. Whoa. Don't do it. You don't want to do that. I am going to die. God damn it. Okay, so I'm not quite figuring out the whole Sturmina situation. There's a whole Sturmina thing, and I gotta figure that out. Thank you again, Illuminati Schemebeg. Thank you so much. I appreciate it for the follow, and welcome to the conspiracy. I'll do better. I promise. I'm gonna do better. I think. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Oh, hold on. Yeah, you missed. You suck. Sucks to be suck. Ow! You hurt so bad. Oh, God. It's like, you sure you want to do this? You sure you want to do that? You sure you want to do it? I ain't no bitch. I ain't gonna quit. I ain't no bitch. Right. I just gotta get good. Are you dead? She's dead. Okay. So then 2 more are gonna come out here. Hello. Here's my plan. Okay. Oh, it takes 2 hits? 2 hits? 2 hits? 2 hits? Oh. 2 hits, huh? Zaboomafoo indeed. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Hi-ya! Whoa. Oh, she's dead. Okay, I got another one. Uh-oh. Okay, I do that. Right there. That's what you need. Okay, that's what I need. That's what I needed. Oh, she's dead. Oh, she's dead. She's dead. Nice. Okay. Take it back a notch. Just one notch is fine. Whoa. Hello there. I'm just saying, you might want to take it back a notch. Just one. Okay. You okay? I know, is a good phrase for that. A little too late. Yeah, she got fogged. Sure is dark out here.
Are you all right?
I don't know. I think I'm hearing voices.
Do not push yourself.
Okay.
Take a moment to rest if you need to.
All right. Who is that? Shu? Is that you? Shu? Shu. Oh, it's a shrine. Shu. It's Shu. It is Shu. It is Shu. Shu. Where am I? Indeed. Indeed. Well, no place to go but forward. Shug on these nuts? Maybe. I don't know if that's gonna happen. It looks like a shrine. What's that?
Hello, Sleepy Procyon.
Sleepy! Whoa, Duke Raid indeed. Indeed. How's it going? How are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Duke Raid indeed. I will read this. A restless heart betrays thee as unfit for the auspicious day. Thou must first pay respect to the gods and the spirits of thine ancestors. A restless heart leads to corrupt soul. Only through sufficient offerings laid upon many stands may thy soul be cleansed. I'm good. Just got off work, so now time to relax. Awesome. That is awesome. I love that. That sounds like a nice time. Always a good feeling. Well, feel free to relax with some Silent Hill, a very calming and relaxing game. Definitely no reason to believe otherwise. What am I looking at? There's a puzzle. Might be a puzzle. I think we might be looking at a puzzle here. Journal. Altar. Thy restless heart betrays thee. Oh. I have to solve this. Great. So, it looks like we have symbols. We have Bamba. We got a plant, a tree. I got some sort of either daisy flowers, maybe umbrellas, other flowers like lilies or something like that, and then leaves. So that must correspond to these things in some way. Nope. Maybe. What are apple? Apple might go in tree. That kind of looks like an apple. I have no idea what that is. Oh. Oh. It's wrapped in a leaf, so yum. Okay. I'm gonna say that. Interesting apple. I don't know what it is, man. What am I looking at? Oh. Fish. Oh, that looks very appetizing. I'm gonna go with... I don't know. No. That. Apparently I got it wrong. Oh, it's a bird. It's a bird in a little coat. It's adorable. That's adorable. That's adorable. Except for the whole not adorable, gruesome part of a dead bird. But otherwise, pretty dapper there, bird. Pretty dapper. Unless it's just sleeping, it might be. Okay. So, how do I, then what would this go to? Maybe this goes in tree, I guess. Is there any more, like, I don't know if there's any more, like, I have no idea. All right. So, crunchy rat. I don't know about that, Thanos. You can try it if you want, but I don't know if I'd recommend that. So bird might, wait, hold on. Does this have, oh, it's got like, it's got markings on it. Maybe that is a clue. So that's probably tree then, or the flower opens up. That could go up in that flower one. This could go up here. Okay, and then what does this have? This is just a fish. But it does have something on it. Okay, so the symbols on there kind of match that one in the back with the tree. So I'm wondering if that should go there. Like that. And then I should take a look at you. This is not really it. Oh, I see it. Look right there. Okay, that goes there. I did it. KFC rat. Yum yum. Uh-oh. Maybe I should have solved that. Maybe I should have done that. Okay. You know, there are more efficient ways to set up a light switch. You could just put like a light switch in. Seems like that would be more efficient. What am I doing? I'm just gonna run for it. Uh-oh. My head. My head. It's fine. It's fine. You're fine. Who's chanting? I don't know. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. You know, she's really gonna have a lot of
emotional damage.
That must have been some nightmare.
Nice mask.
Nightmare?
Are you
Whoa.
injured?
Your eyes. There's something about your eyes. All that smoke can't be healthy for her? Probably not. No. She's gonna have that black lung from the mines, except not from the mines. This guy seems ominous. I don't know you. I don't know. How do you know my name? I don't know you. And why are you asking me, should we get going? Maybe introduce yourself first?
What's wrong? This way.
Oh, he's got blue light. That's that can't be normal. What's happening? Okay. I don't know. Who was that? He's right over there. Also, he probably could have introduced himself. That might have been a little bit less weird.
Mind your step.
Sure. Oh, and the water. I'm sure it's fine. Free stickers. Kind of. Not really. Wow. Where am I going? Where's blue light? Did I turn around? I don't see blue light no more. I don't see no blue light no more. Blue light man. Where'd you go? I'm scared.
Take all the time you need.
Okay, never mind. I won't. Okay, fine. Since you mentioned that, I'll stop. How do you stop running? There we go. Could you imagine asking that to somebody you're just like you've never met and you're like, hey, do you know how to stop running? I can't figure it out. I just turn on and just cannot stop. Once I turn it on, it just keeps going. You ever done that? Sir? Now then what? Now then what? Huh? Now then. Oh. Kitty. Lots of kitty. That's not a kitty. And I don't like that. Okay. Are these patterns and symbols of some kind? They sure seem that way. Kitty's a lot nicer than that one. I see. I see. That one looked very similar to this one. Oh, but it's got the little thing underneath it. Okay. What the hell are you? Triangle. Am I going to have to remember these? Is this something I'm going to have to remember? Am I going to need to remember this shit? That one's different. Okay. There's different ones. Oh, God. Am I... They don't think I can... They're not going to make me memorize this, are they? Because... No. Because the answer is no. I ain't gonna do that. I'm too dumb. Hello?
Hinako.
Yes?
Follow me.
Could you tell me who the fuck you are? Yeah. That looks important. Kaiken, a beautiful dagger used for ceremonial purposes. The blade has been intentionally dulled so it doesn't make the best weapon. However, it does seem surprisingly durable. That's good to know. Inari's statue, laughing, creepy. Is that what you call laughing? Inari's a little spooky. Okay. Does that count as a weapon? Nope. Oh, it does kind of. Why would I want to use that? It said it was dull. I can run, but it feels weird, you know? Like if I was a real person in this scenario, I don't think I'd be running. I would be like, fuck this shit.
What's this shrine?
I don't know. You see, James can't say that he's the crazy fox because that looks more crazy than him. And I'm just going to put it out there. That's a real crazy fox. James loses that one.
Key for you.
Oh, have you now?
This way.
Journal. What am I? Fox mask. Okay, fox mask. A mysterious man wears a fox mask. He never takes it off, so I feel I have yet to see his true self. He has such a refined air about him. I think he must come from a very well-off family. For whatever reason, he seems to know me well and treats me kindly. He's almost like a prince from a fairy tale. In fact, this whole situation is like a story from a book. Who are you, and why are you leading me down this path? That's a good question. I would be also questioning why he hasn't said that yet.
This way, Echo.
Okay. Okay. This has been a fun trip, but can we tell me what the plan is? All right.
We've arrived.
Lovely spot in the void you have here. We have arrived. Okay. What is that? Yokon. Okay. I will save. Okay. I mean, it's a shrine. How unsafe can it? What is that? Oh, just a random pill. What do you mean it's locked? I haven't even tried it yet. Oh. Look for hints. I will.
I feel like I've seen something like this before.
But how would I know what the thing is? It's like got the two little leaf things. Maybe that has something to do with it. Okay. It's got the leaves. That seems like a clue. If they think I remembered it. If they think I remembered it, I gotta tell you, I am not gonna remember that. Information. Oh, that's my store that I was at. Okay. Map. Oh, I gotta go over there. Where do I have to go there? I don't know. There was a little bit of a side path that took me back here. So maybe this is something I have to do. I guess this could be open now. It is ? Oh. Okay. Oh, hi. I remember you. What's that doing here? Great question. Great question. Let me find out. Lightning cast down from the heavens, split asunder by decayed tree. From the earth grows Kudzu, the prophet of eternal prosperity. Hello? Oh no. Oh no. I hate that. Fingies? Yeah, that's not the part I'm worried about. What? Oh god. Oh god. What do I do about this? Do I have to fight you? Can I fight you? I can't fight you. Okay. Nope, no face. Yeah, no face. What do I do about this? No. Ow! Run! What do I do? I don't. What do? Ow. Okay, please stop with the killing. I'm gonna die. No, I can't move. I can't move. God damn it. I got stuck in a corner. Face hole. It does have a face hole. A big face hole. Okay. Can I fight you? I guess I can. I killed him. Oh. Yay. I did it. Okay. So what now? There's those symbols again. All right. That was nice. Here, I need that. You're gonna stay dead, right? Yep. Okay, so what did those symbols mean? I guess I gotta look for something that looks like it. Or there was the inscription, right? Like, hold on. I don't think he's gonna stay dead. I don't think he's going to. What did you say again? I got a feeling he's not gonna stay dead. Pazuzuzus. Okay, this monster is restrained by chains and shackles. I wonder if it excuse me. I wonder if it was imprisoned by torture. It seems to be searching for me rather than by sound rather than sight. I should be mindful of my footsteps. Oh, I guess I can avoid him. Okay, what was the thing, though? I guess I need to find... Oh, there's this thing. I need to find something, but it seems to think I... Find the correct EMA. Oh, okay. Is that this thing? Find the correct EMA. How do I know which one? How do I know? There was the symbols on there. Okay. Lightning cast down from the heavens, split asunder by a decayed tree. From the earth grows Kadzu, the prophet of eternal prophecy. Oh, that's got to be my clue. Oops. All right, so I got to look for like lightning and a decayed tree. Okay. I think I saw lightning over here somewhere. There's one. Oh God.
It's still alive?
Okay, he went in another direction. I don't know where he is. Okay, so it's not letting me just pick any of them. I see. Okay, lightning strikes down. Decayed tree. There it is. Lightning strikes down from a decayed tree. Oh God. It's very nerve-wracking when he's right there. I don't know which one I'm supposed to do. Oh, wait. I did that wrong. Okay, hold on. I think it could be this one.
Seems right. Better look for more.
Better look for more. Okay. So I need to see, is it a decayed tree? Is that this thing? She didn't say anything. Wait, why are they not accessible right now? None of these are accessible. Okay. I like to listen to the song to relax after a long day. I don't think that would work for me. I don't think it would. So I got that one. Oh, lightning strikes down. Decayed tree. So I just need to find a decayed tree. The fuck is that? Oh, there might be. There's one. Maybe it's that thing. It could be that. Is there another tree anywhere? I don't know. That seems to be the only one. There's also that thing. What else? They do want me to go to that. And then there's this. Okay, lightning strikes down. Decayed tree. There is a decayed tree behind me. I don't know if that's the tree, though. All right. You go do your thing, my dude. Go on, bro. I think there's one over there at that shrine. Sure got quiet. I don't know if I buy that. I definitely don't buy that. I don't buy it even a little bit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Was it not this thing? No, it's this thing. They said something about this. Okay, what am I looking at here? It must have something in its mouth? What? It must have had something in its mouth. Oh. Oh, it must have. Oh, I gotta find this ball or something. Okie dokie. Love the stylized face of the statue. It is pretty cool. Probably very real. But what am I supposed to do? I know I'm supposed to find Ima's wood pet. Okay, okay. I respect that. But I didn't see another way to get another one of those Imas from that thing. So Fox Mask Guy is definitely giving me a bit of a test here, and I gotta solve this puzzle. And there's got to be some other like Ema. They gotta find, but it seemed like after I found the one, all of the other ones kind of disappeared. From that one area. Now that does look like a decayed tree. They all look like decayed trees. It's not like there's one decayed tree. There's a lot of them. I might have to go back there. I don't want to go back there, but I'm thinking I might have to go back there. Yeah? Oh, what's this? As I pass into the world of the dead, I pray only that I do not pass through the gates of hell. Please hear my prayer. Interesting. I agree. What's that? Divine water. Fresh mountain water. It said to those who drink this water will be blessed by the gods. Fully restores current max sanity and reduces sanity damage taken for a set time. Can be used as an offering. Okay then. Fair enough. Where my boy at?
Oh boy. Okay, huge ass. Here goes. Did you know the tradition of carving pumpkins started with turnips and they looked way creepier? Also, one of the original candies for Halloween was actual animal organs. Like, here, have a liver, happy Halloween! I'm never looking at a trick-or-treat bag the same way again.
Right? Okay, so it's definitely not these. Oh. Okay, I'm a little confused. So I need to find, how do I do that? Okay, so I got lightning. Cast down from heaven spirit under a decayed tree. From the earth grows Kudzu, the prophet of eternal prophecy. That's down. I got lightning, so I need to find a decayed tree, I guess, and then something about Kudzu, the prophet of eternal prophecy. From the earth. Okay. Okay. And so what then? Something about a decayed tree must have a symbol on it. I guess it could be any of these trees, right? And then something about kudzu. Where are you? Oh. Okay. I do not know. Because now I'm back here, and I don't think this has anything to do with it. Lightning strikes. Lightning strikes. Now, it does seem like I do need to find like a ball or something that I can put into Inari thingy's mouth. That seems like I gotta put a ball in something's mouth. That's a sentence I was not expecting to say today. Oh wait, this seems like a direction he would go in. Oh wait, is this a different one? Or is this the same area? This is different. I think. These are different. Where are you? This is different. These are different. Okay. Tree maybe? There's one. Decayed tree. Decayed this one. It's gotta be that.
One left.
Okay. Alright, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Alright. Then there's another one over here. So now I'm looking from Earth. Something or other. Where's he coming from? What is that? A bloodstained letter. For those who haven't abandoned hope, I have hidden the Omanamori that protects against evil against the Emma at... I can attest to its efficacy. However, no power is absolute. You must remain vigilant. This heirloom belonged to my grandmother and now will pass to you. I do not think I have much use for it. Okay. Where's he at? Oh, he's way over there. Okay. Okay. So what is a kudzu? I don't think I know what a kudzu is. Do I know what a kudzu is? I don't think I do. I don't know. I don't think it's that.
Oh my! There is an incoming break for adverts in 2 minutes.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's right there. Does he come this way? Not really. Okay. What would a kudzu be? I mean, I guess it could be something like that. What is it? What's the thing? It's okay. So decayed tree, and then from the earth grows kudzu, the prophet of eternal prosperity. The prophet of eternal prosperity. Whatever that means. Kudzu. Is it one of these? Maybe it's a... Is it a turtle? Could be a turtle. I have no idea. No. Is it these guys? You look like a prophet. Gonna how to hope you have a good rest of your stream. No worries. Thank you for stopping by, Gecko. Always good to see you. If anybody knows what a kudzu is, feel free to let me know. Oh wait, I wonder if... Oh god. Kudzu. I still don't know what that means. Eternal prosperity. Is it you? Is it a kitty cat? I could see it being a kitty cat. Oh. A Monomori cat. Greatly deceased, damage taken with dodging. Oh. Oh, okay. Interesting. I did it. Is it you? Maybe it's the other kitty cat? No. What am I looking for? Oh, I have a thing? Nope, I don't want that. I have an ornament. Collectibles, equipment. Oh. Okay. How do I do that? Oh, this. Okay. Interesting. Let's see then. Something about prosperity. Maybe it's you? No. Okay, it's not you, is it? Because you're just creepy. Okay. Is it you? All right, let me look at the picture again. Maybe there's some clue on here. That's not the one. Okay. From the earth grows kudzu, the profit of it. Maybe it means like it's a plant. That would kind of make sense if it's like a plant type thing. There he is. Could be a plant. All right, plant. Maybe it's that. Hold on. Like that, maybe? No. Oh, wait. There's another plant. This could be it. A combination lock dial. The combination locks a missing dial. Oh.
All right. Time to try that lock.
Oh, good. I did it. I am a genius. Was that all three of them? Seems like it was all three of them. So did that do it? Ah. Okay, so I got the dial and I got the symbols. Where am I going? Oh, he's over there now. Is that where he was? Or is he going to start following me around? Where am I? I am on the complete other side of this thing. Oh, good. Okay. Okay. What was that? Mom, Dad, I don't think I'll make it home. I wish I could see you one last time. Mayumi. That sounds ominous. Okay, I don't know where he is. Okay, I think this is the shortest distance. He could follow me. I have a feeling he's not going to let me get back to where I was just like that. That is my feeling. Is that it's not going to be that easy. Why does that not look like a rock anymore? Okay, so I think if I go this way... What? I feel like I have seen this. Oh, scrap paper. Mom, Dad, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I never made it up to you for being such a horrible daughter. I didn't deserve to have any of you as my parents. I guess I'm getting what I deserve. That's horrible. I would imagine your parents would not agree with that. But maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe they are totally fine with that concept. And that's really sad for you. Okay, this is the correct door, right? I'm pretty sure this is the correct door. Okay. So I think I've got the 3 symbols. So it's like little circle baseball. It's a baseball with the thing you would like when you're learning to draw. That's how you would do a head, and then there's a square with a like a coat hanger in it. So it's a baseball, and then that thing, and then I think that's it. Nice. Okie dokie.
That man, where'd he go?
That's a great question. Is he back here? Is he hiding back here? Nope. Is that the key? That's a big key. That seems like an unusually large key. Stone key, fashioned from a mysterious stone. Judging from what he said, it's probably something precious. Good.
So you accept my gift? I fashioned this key from Mystic Jade, especially for you.
Okay. For me? For me? Oh.
Once you insert that key into the Inari statue,
don't trust the fox mask. Why not? Why not? He seems so nice. And it is a pretty cool fox. Oh, shit. I gotta go. That's not how you run. That is not how you run. Oh, that doesn't work. Ah, no! Where do I go? I don't know where I'm going. Fuck. Go! Lady! Where do I go? I don't know what to do. Ow! How dare you? Ow! Oh, that's not water. I get it. This doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right. Ow! No, you gotta run. You gotta go faster than that. Oh my god. Owie! Owie! You bitch! Run! Run! Actually run. Oh my god, I'm stuck. Oh my god, there's more than one. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh, what is happening? This isn't fair. I can't run away from you. Okay. Is it? I have a limited. Okay. I realized I had a limited amount of time. That's not good. Okay. Did not realize time was a factor. No, you bastard. I can't get by you, you asshole. Shit. Why are you stuck? Why are you stuck? Run! Run! No, that's not running. That's the opposite of running. You are not doing what I need you to do right now. You need to run! Ow! All right, you know what, bitch? I can't do this. Crap. Girl, why are you doing that? How? No! No, I will not. I'm a Anari, protect me! Bite them! That's not normally how keys work. That is not normally how keys work, but okay. Okay.
The door from earlier was for welcoming visitors. However, this door denies all but the select few who may tread sacred ground.
Okay.
Am I allowed inside?
Why, of course. Today you are most welcome.
Great. That
We must
sounds
continue
nice.
on ahead.
Okay.
Shall we rest first?
We should just go. Let's just move. Because there could be more of those things. We don't know.
Tell me if you need a break.
You're so kind for a guy with that wears a weird mask. I say that knowing that it would be really weird for her, probably. What was that? You okay? Yeah, exactly. It would be really weird for her. For me, I would just be like, hey, where's the room party? You want to go together? Want to hang out at the room party? What is happening? Shu?
Are you okay?
I don't think so. I think I might be going a little crazy. I might be losing my mind.
Oh, thank goodness.
Why are you laughing? Doesn't seem like a good time to laugh, Shu.
Been one to go down without a fight.
True.
Shu, you're alive.
I was wrong. I guess I owe that person bet money.
Where's Sakuko?
About that. Yeah, about that.
What is happening? Not a soul left in town.
Well, there's two right here.
Some kind of terrible dream?
Maybe.
Monsters around every corner.
Yeah.
One nightmare after another.
True.
Still though, I got lucky. Even if no one else is left in this world, it's good to know you're still around.
Aw, that's cute.
Wait, what about Rinko?
She just said she needed to talk to me about something.
Rinko was supposed to be with you. How do we know if she's all right?
Oh. Sorry. I guess I was confused. We all got split up and ran off. I haven't seen Rinko since.
Interesting.
But where would she even go?
Oh, you know, she's probably dead.
Maybe she went home. Let's go find her, partner.
Let's do that. Yeah, get your pipe. Ah, shit. Shu, why did you have to run off? Oh, there he is. Never mind, we're fine.
Keep up, or I'll leave you behind.
That's not a very nice thing to say, Shu. Okay, hurry. Hurry. I'm not moving yet. Oh, right.
I need to focus. Need to find Rinko.
Shu, don't go too far. Oh, shit. Focusing. When using focus L2, your sanity will slowly deplete while your gauge fills up. Your max sanity will decrease if you are attacked while using focus in action difficulties other than... Okay. Focusing. Okay. Focusing. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. I can do that. Hi, how are you? Here, I got something for you. Yeah. Take that. Shu! Where are you?
My weapon's about to break.
Oh, no. Wait, don't I have tools? Oh, wait, what's that? I need this. I'm gonna pray. Yay. I have another one, right? I have another one. I'll use this until it breaks, and then I have another one. So I'm not going to panic on that. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that, but, like, look how bent up that shit is. That's actually kind of cool that, like, the weapons show the wear and tear before they break. That's kind of cool.
Another dead end.
Shu, you left me behind. I wasn't that far behind, you asshole. You want to call me partner and then you want to disappear like that? You are an asshole. Shu.
Please tell me that monster's not around.
Which one? There were a lot of them. Turns out there was more than one. Where am I going? I need to find... Okay, I'm going... Freaking all the way up there? Jesus. Okay. Hello? Ooh, I hate this background music. Wait, I'm going in the wrong direction, I think. Wait, that's not it. I can't go there. Where am I going? What is my objective? Oh. What, is she rich or something? Oh my God. Head to Rinoko's house. Okay, so I don't know. It almost looks like... It almost looks like I would have to go up to this path. But then how do I do that? Because it looks like everything's blocked off down there. And then I can't get through this. I'm guessing I can't get through that stuff, but maybe I can. But I'm going to have to figure out how to get over there. Yeah, it looks like I can't go this way. Ooh, there. What is this? Oh, a pill. Yay. Okay, so this is going to be kind of maze-like, I think. What is that? Toolkit. Cool. Her school uniform is still spotless. I know, right? That does seem a little off. Okay, so I think that's heading that direction. Can I even go that way? I don't know if I can. Hello? 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 Uh-oh. I see you. I see you. Oh, I missed. No. Uh-uh. Problem solved. Okay, where does that go? That goes that way. I might be able to go this way.
Trouble if I don't find a new weapon soon.
I have one. Shut the fuck up. This feels like the way I came from. Okay, so if I go, I went the wrong way. So if I go this way, then I can head. Wasn't that where that dead end was? They said, oh, it must be this way. Okay, that seems fine. I feel like this was the dead end. They were like, you can't go that way. Yeah, they totally did. They lied to me. Oh, but there was a pill. And I must feed my addiction. Oh, I could squeeze by there. Come on now. I could totally do it. Alrighty. Well, then there must be another way to go. So it looks like if I go up that alleyway, there might be a way over there. All right. So if I just go the opposite way of the way that I ended up going the first time. This way. Spooky scarecrow. Hello? Who's there? Hello? Oh, I see you. What a creepy scarecrow. You're right. I agree. All right, she's going that way. You keep going that way. I'm gonna go this way. We don't have to worry about one another at all. You go get your hair done. You go get your hair did. I'm gonna go get my nails done. It's as simple as that. Yep. Another one of these for some reason. Okay, I guess I'm doing that, so. And here we go. What am I doing?
Shu, where are you?
You rhymed. Oh, there he is.
What is it, partner?
Everything that's happening to us. Do you think it could be some dream we're having?
Maybe.
Because we just want to keep playing Space Wars together.
Well, we could pinch each other to find out.
No. I can pinch myself. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Interesting. I feel like if you pinch yourself in a dream, it doesn't work. I feel like that's like, would not work.
Sorry. Seems it's not a dream after all.
Okay, then. I think we've determined something. What do we have here? Space Wars. This is a game that Shu and I played together when we were kids. Basically, aliens known as the Galactic Imperium would arrive in UFOs in droves, and we would fight them to protect our town. Playmates would come and go. We called them new recruits and fallen ones, respectively. And in the end, Shu and I were the only ones left standing to combat the Galactic Imperium. Sounds like a blast. Where am I right now? Interesting. So it looks like I need to get up there. So it does appear I'm going to have to go that way. I could go that way, but I don't think that's a good idea. So I'm going to go this way. Oh, hi. I see you. You can't hide. Oh! You are fast! Holy shit. I missed. Oh god, I need that. That was a little spooky. Did not expect him to move in that erratic of a fashion.
Are you home?
Doctor? Damn it. Okay, so now I am going to need another weapon. Oh. This seems like a good... Why would I do this? Why would I... Oh. Why would I do this? Oh. No. Let her sleep. You sleeping? Your face is gone. It's locked, they say. Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor? Doctor. A lot of doors here. What is this? A rare? A small crispy rice cracker. Its pleasant crunch makes it never boring to eat. Slightly restores health. The effect increases when using continuously. Can also be used as an offering. Okay. What do I have here? Oh. You know, I'm just going to close that right back up. Well, that's not good. Don't know about that one. Don't know about that one, Chief. I feel like there must have been like a key or something somewhere. Ooh, kudzu tea, a slightly thick drink made by dissolving kudzu powder in water. In this region, ginger and freshly pressed juice are added to enrich the flavor. Freeze it before drinking. Slowly restores health and current max sanity for the set time. Can also be used as an offering. I got so much stuff. You cannot hold any more items. Oh, God. There are limits. What does this do? Okay. Can I just use it? So, kudzu tea seems okay, but I think we're just going to leave it because, and I guess I could always come back for it if I need it. right? Like, it's not like it's gonna go anywhere. You're still dead, right? God damn it. Doctor? Where'd you go? Where did you go? There's got to be a key to that. But also, I know there's a knife lady in here somewhere. Where'd you go? Where do you think you're hiding? I don't see it. Unless... Nope. But there has to be like a key or something. That's the only... Unless it's in that box, I have to dig around. Oh, I'm gonna have to dig around the eyes, aren't I? I'm gonna have to do some digging in some eyeballs. I think that's what... Oh, that's down here. Never mind. I think that's what they're saying, is that there might be some things in some eyeballs. Now, it doesn't seem like I can, though. It's not really giving me the option here. All right. But why? Why would I not be able to... It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's happening here. Why would I be able to do this if it doesn't amount to anything? All right. There's gotta be a key somewhere. But where? And then this is locked too. So that makes me think there might be two keys. Unless it's in that other room and I was supposed to do something else with it. But there was definitely a monster right there. Okay, that did not work. All right, never mind. I guess I'll go. Oh. Unless... No. All right, where's the ladder? It feels like there should be something I should be able to do back there, but I'm not sure yet. And then I am headed that way. This way. Sure is spooky out here. Sure is very spooky out here. Hi, lady. I'm just looking at my map. Don't worry about it. You stay there. I'm going to go over here. Don't you worry about a thing. Okay, she's going to go do her thing. That's fine. She's just chilling. Ain't nothing to worry about. Ooh, a bandage. Glad I came over here.
Oh shit, there goes the
Oh
camera.
my
Redacted
god, you
_
scared the
cat,
shit
rated
out of
with
me.
7 odd ones.
Redacted cat, you scared me. I don't know why that scared me so much. This game has got me all paranoid. How are you doing, Redacted cat? Welcome in. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. The scared raid. I got spooky spooked. How are you? Welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. What are we up to today? We're playing some Mech Warrior 5. Nice.
Else I'm gonna kick your ass.
Oh my goodness. How are you doing? You were playing some Mech Warrior 5. That's awesome. How did you do? How did you fare? How did your peeps and you enjoy some Mech Warrior? Hope you had a good time. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Nathan. I am the Leem that streams. We are playing a little...
Hello, redacted _
You
cat.
dare refuse our batch all? I did.
Hello, Evidence Self.
Evidence Self. How's it going? I do. I dare. I double dog dare. How's that sound? Double Leem dare. Take that. But anyway, how did you guys do? Welcome in, everybody. I'm a variety streamer who's playing a little Silent Hill F. And your raid spooked me. I'm not gonna lie. It did. Gave me the big old spooky spooks. Where am I? That seems correct. That seems correct, but there's also that other path. And you know, that one looks a little bit more dark and scary. So obviously, if I'm playing by this, when OK finally started a new DLC for Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries, got into the actual missions and not the prep time before it. Nice. Nice. Sounds like good progress. But do you see what I'm saying here, guys? It starts rough, very rough.
Hello, Herpel Stiltskin.
Herpel Stiltskin, welcome in. 3 Pioneer Raid, welcome in. How are you doing? How are you doing? Do you see what I'm saying there, though? That trail looks wide open and clean and light and probably safe, but I think it's a lie. You are a little late. That's okay. We accept you anyway. We still love you. We still love and appreciate you, and we're glad you're here. The other way looks like it's through a dark and scary woods, but I think it's a lie.
Oh, hey, Herpel Stillskin. Thanks for hitting that follow button.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that so much. Welcome to the conspiracy. But you see what I'm saying? That seems dark and scary. Cool bit being in the same story lore arc period as first game as I played when I was 5 or 6. Ooh, nice. God, you know, I think I played like Mech Warrior 2 a lot when I was a kid. I remember Mech Warrior 2. I remember that. And I had a lot of fun with that. I think they're trying to throw me off here. I think it's a trick. I think they want me to go down what looks like the clear path. But it's all a ruse. So I'm going to go down the dark and scary path. I'm going to do it. Because I bet it's safer. I bet. I'm going to outsmart it. I'm going to outsmart this shit right here. You guys ready? We're going for it. Let's do it. Scary path. Let's go. I'm going to outsmart this shit. They'll never see it coming. All the monsters are like, hey, wait a minute. They went the other way. How?
Sakuko's shrine is up ahead.
The what?
They
The what
used to
now?
go there a lot.
Okay. Oh. Did I go the wrong way? Oh, damn it. It was not a ruse. Okay, correction. It was not a ruse. It was real, and I went to the wrong place. I found something, though. Senensugi Shrine Flyer. Let's hold a... Oh, God, there's so many words I'm going to struggle so mightily to say. And I regret nothing. Let's hold a... Jishinsai. Is it Jishinsai? Whether you're building a house or pulling it down, digging a well or filling one up, it's all done upon Amari-sama's land. We should show gratitude to Inari-sama by holding a Jinshinsai. Oh God, there's so many pages. Holding a Jinshinsai is especially important for wells, lest we forget the ancient tale of a poisonous water dragon that once wreaked havoc until Inari-sama finally sealed it deep underground. Digging a new well is just like opening up an air hole for a terrible dragon. And if we're not careful, we risk facing its wrath once more. That is why we must have a Jinshinsai. Exclusive price for first-time customers. Special deals for requests on unlucky calendar days. Call for a free consultation now. That sounds like an incredible deal. And I don't know why I keep going this way, because I know it's wrong. I know this is not where I'm supposed to go. But I've already committed. I have already committed. What's that? Pick up. Oh! I found a key to a mailbox.
Is this the key to Sakuko's mailbox?
Yeah, they did not hide that well. A letter from Sakuko's mother. Dear Sakuko, you mustn't ever speak again about how you hear otherworldly voices talking or singing. Puberty is a difficult time. You may hear and see strange things that you cannot explain. The same thing happened to me when I was your age. I remember, puberty being pretty tumultuous. I don't remember voices talking to me in my head. The same thing, however, it's nothing more than your imagination playing tricks on you. If your friends find out, though, they'll label you the strange girl. They'll abandon you, ostracize you, because around here, once rumors spread, people will never look at you the same way again. Well, the good news is she doesn't have to worry about that right now. But the bad news is she doesn't have to worry about that because she's dead. So, ups and downs, I guess. Ooh. I guess you got to take a little bit of the good with a little bit of the bad.
Sakuko always said she'd make the shrine as popular as it used to be back in the day.
Did it work? Okay, apparently I can't go here yet. So I came all the way up here for no reason. But I did find a mailbox key, and that is probably important. What are you doing here?
Hey, partner! That's not the way to Rinko's house.
I figured that out. Thank you, Shu.
Oh, sorry. Zoned out for a bit.
This is Sakuko's family shrine, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think too much about it. Let's hurry up and find Rinko.
Right.
Right. Let's go.
Hello? Shu! Not again, Shu, please. Please, Shu, stop leaving me behind. Shu, you're so fast. Shu, I thought I was on the track and field team. Seems like you might have also been on the track and field team. Okay, so it's got to be this way then. the way I said wasn't the right way to go because, you know, dark and scary. Pipe? Pipe! Pipe! Yeah, I better. You're right. Where am I keeping that? Where am I keeping that? You know what? I don't want to know. I hear something. I hear a little something, something. Uh-oh. Hi. Hey. How are you? Listen, we should be friends. We could be friends. We could be friends. We could be friends. Apparently she wants to be friends. Yep. What are those? Are those like... What are they doing? What was that? What was that? I don't know and I don't want to know. I'm gonna take this instead. Hello? Who's there? Please don't eat my bones. Ooh, red capsules. Please don't eat me, please. I would prefer not to. Oh, it's that. Is it that way? There's a bridge over there, I guess. Oh, it's blocked. No. Then what do I do? Because Well, there might have been other paths I just didn't do, I guess. Can I go that way? Seems like a narrow trail. How wide the frickety frack? Is it one of those? Do I have to go through like the corn maze or the maze or whatever it is? Is that what I have to do? There it. I am 0 for 2 on the pathing here. 0 for 2. Feel pretty accomplished. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hi, how are you? Listen, I'm gonna give you that. Take that. Take this and that and that and that. Oh, that seems more like the red shit that I don't want to touch, so... Yeah, I probably have to go this way, but I think I see something over there. What do I see? What is that? Okay, could be a rock. It really could be a rock. But something tells me it's not a rock. Well, that's not a rock. Are you a rock? You're a tree. Okay. I guess that's fine. Is it a rock lobster? Rock lobster. It could be. Rock lobster? A rock lobster. Nothing in there. Alright, so it looks like if I go this away, it might get me around, but it also looks like I could just go straight down this way. You mind your business, lady. And I'll mind mine. Okay, so if I go this straight way, but there's a Okay, there's this whole thing. Let's see if I can get the sneak on her. Hey-ya! Take that. It's too bad you suck. Oh, okay, that would have been a dead end. So I can't go that way. So do I have to go through like the blight shit to get there? It seems like what they're saying, but it's almost like, wait a minute, there seems to be like a path. Okay, maybe I missed something over there. I can make that jump. Come on. You make that jump. Come on. Come on. You can do it. All right, I think I see what I have to do. What was that? What was that? Oh, hi. Don't worry about me. Okay. So what if we did this? Oh, hi. What the fuck? I missed. Ah, shit. Grabbed by enemies. You will not be able to free yourself from enemy's grasp you will not be able to. When grabbed by an enemy, your health and sanity will drop significantly. Be sure to stay aware of your surroundings. If your chosen story has difficulty, you'll be grabbed by this will not cost you your current sanity. Okay, well, I'm going to try not to get grabbed. Die, please. Oh, shit. I can't go that way, so maybe I can go this way. One of these has to work. This one might work.
I'm going to be in trouble if I don't find a new weapon soon.
Oh, quiet. You're going to be just fine. I might be able to make it through this. Oh, God! Oh, you bitch! Oh, my God! Owie! Owie! Uh-oh. I have another one. It's fine. Oh, that scared me a little bit. I was scared. Chocolate slightly restores health and current max sanity. I don't know if I want that because I have better things. Although, I am a little hurt, so I should probably just eat something and then pick that up. That might be a good idea. R1 gets me to those. And I got room over there. What are you talking about? Oops. Let me do that. R1. Let's use this stuff down here. Now can I take it? Oh, no, it won't work. All right, we'll leave it here. For now. I'm going to need to find another bar or lead pipe or something. Just because I don't think I can survive on the one. Because that last one did not last that long. And that's a little scary. If you ask me. Can I go this way? No, that's like a river. Oh, that can't be good.
Disgusting.
Yeah, a little.
Don't go anywhere near that weird stuff. It might be poisonous.
Yeah, I'm
go
aware.
Around to the garden on the right.
Huh? I'm trying. I'm trying. Where are you? Mr. Bossy Man, where the hell are you? First aid. Oh, greatly restores. Okay, so I got to take that. That seems like something I should take. So, I yields great deal of faith when enshrined. Oh, that seems like something I should just do. I should probably just like put that away. Is there like a shrine thingy somewhere? I haven't seen one in a bit. Seems like a good place to put one. Okay, there might be something in here. I'll take that. All right, well, I can always come back, I guess. Oh, another pipe. Yay. No, thank you. Oh, I have too many toolkits. Okay. They do seem to be loading me up on stuff here. Whoa, 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 that's a big knife. Whoa, what the, what? I don't know. Oh, oh, oh. Gross. That's gross. Oh, okay. Ow, you asshole. Okay, I thought I did the thing. I need that. Oh, nope, that's not what I meant. I need this. Fuck. Give me the thing. That's not what I needed. Give me that. Okay. I need more than that. Give me one of those. Okay. Gross, gross, gross. Gross, gross, gross. I got to go soon. Some early shift and need some sleep. Oh, don't worry. You get to get your rest. Do that for sure. If you need to get some rest, you do that. I support this. I did the blocking. Ah, crap. Did I win? I won.
Oh my. There is an incoming break for adverts in 2 minutes.
I won against the big giant blobby thing. That's cool. I guess I have to pull that up. Okay. Not enough. Keep turning it. Oh.
Not enough.
What?
You keep turning it.
I'm trying. What is happening? Oh my god! That hardly seems fair. No, no, no. My timing was off, I guess. God damn it. Ow. Okay, that seems to have done it, but then I gotta get... Okay, I guess I gotta go after this thing again. I know. Can you hurry up and get this thing? You gotta hurry your ass up. How far down could it have fallen? There it goes. That's probably fine. Okay, I got the storehouse key. Where's that at? I don't even know where that is. Store. That's that thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab the chocolate, I guess, because now I probably can. And I don't have chocolate. I have that thing. Okay. And then whatever that is. No. Uh-oh. He's coming back. He's coming back. Go! Open it faster! Faster's better. What?
Hinako! The storehouse window! Hurry!
No! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Go, Hinako! That's better. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't think I am.
Good.
Ah.
I didn't let Junko down then. She told me to look after
Hello, your imagination. Welcome in. How are you doing?
She dead?
She might be dead.
Yeah, a while ago. Anyway, let's move.
What? You're not going to let me see this?
Time to go.
It is time to go. Oh my god, I'm hurting. I'm so hurting right now. I am dying. Oh my god, okay, I'm gonna need some bandages. Nope, I'm gonna need some bandages. Okay, that's better. What is this? Ooh, pills. Let me take my pills. Are those guys still in there? You're still in there? No? Okay. Where am I now? Oh, it's so tiny with a big head. It's so adorable. I love it. Look at me, so tiny over here. So tiny and small and cute. And adorbs. And whatever it is that I am. I need to go this way. Okay, there is this thing. I'm gonna put...
Boy, such a good boy.
Thank you. Look at you. Okay, can I give him the comb? Yes. Okay, so I can do that. I've received 300 faith. Whatever the hell that means. I don't know what that means, but I know it means something. But I'm going to do that. Oh, man. Okay. Let me do that. What do we have over here? Beep 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 doo 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 doo. Let me take a look at something. Beep 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 doo 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 doo. All right. Okay, so we made it to another shrine that I can save at. We fought big bulbous man with gigantic red ass, and that it's not the best. Why are early Halloweens in America so violent? That's a great question.
Oh wow, going dark, huge ass. Early American Halloweens were kinda wild because people saw it more like a night for pranks and chaos.
Right?
It got rowdy, property damage, fights,
it probably did.
all that
It probably
shit.
did.
Eventually, folks started focusing more on treats and costumes to chill everyone out. Safer for Leams and Blue Jays.
Sure. Anyway, I think this is probably a good spot to stop for tonight. I've run out of time, but we are going to be back on Friday to continue this game. So that should be fun. And I think I want to appreciate everybody stopped by today and hung out with us. I hope you guys had a good time with me. Hope you enjoyed your time playing this game, having a grand old time, being awesome in Silent Hill F. And there was definitely nothing to be scared of or monsters in which to kill me. And I didn't freak out, not once. I was a very brave Liam. Do not try and find any evidence to the contrary. You'll never find it, and it's not even worth your time. So, with that being said, big thank you to the following. Big thank you to 3 Pioneer for the raid today. Illuminatory Scrimbag, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Redacted Cat, thank you so much for the raid today as well. And Herpel Stillskin, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. You guys are all awesome. It's always good to have you guys hanging around with me and making my night, making these more fun to play, doing all that fun stuff. But until next time, I will see you guys, like I said, Friday. We're going to continue playing some more Silent Hill F. And I'm going to send you guys out for say hello to somebody. So let's send you guys out to who have we not seen a bit? Oh, we haven't seen Trashy Rack in a while. So I'm going to send you out to Trashy Rack, who's playing a little Order 13. Give him some love. Say hello. Kids would build bonfires from stolen stuff like lawn furniture and do and anything left outside. That makes sense. I can see that. But anyway, give Trashy some love. Give him a follow if you aren't doing so already. And until next time, have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.